What's up, everyone? Welcome to the live stream. I'm pretty sure we're live, but it's hard for me to know because there's a huge delay from hitting go live and then seeing myself go live. But it looks like it's working, so that's good news. This is probably going to be a pretty short stream today because I am dying to go play Tarkov. If you don't know, Escape from Tarkov is one of the most highly played games currently, I guess today, whatever, that has the most cheaters in it. If you don't know what the Tarkov Wiggle is, that's a great video highlighting just how bad cheating is in online games, but mainly in this case in Tarkov. And that's the game I'm going to go play because I hate myself. But before we get too much into things, what's up, Jason? Welcome to the stream. Noah, it's always good to talk to you, especially here and in Discord. But yeah, short stream. Amen to that, man. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I'm kind of just streaming because I want to try and do this regularly. I missed last week's stream. And even if I don't have anything to talk about, we can just hang out here and talk about whatever comes up, if anything. But of course, this stream is really just to talk about, well, not really just to talk about, but mainly to talk about what's going on around here and things that I find interesting, or that even you may find interesting. We can talk about those things as well. Anyway, so I'm wrapping up another TP-Link video because I feel like my channel is just TP-Link now, but that's okay. We just got done, well, I think I'm done making content with these cameras that they sent me. I still got to get things like edited and compiled and put together and kind of see how it flows. I'm trying to do a little bit better job in my videos. In the past, I would usually just open a box up and then show you everything that happens, not live, but I would do everything for the very first time, showing you guys all the problems I had during first time setup and all that jazz. And that's worked probably pretty well, but I'm kind of tired of that style of video because there ends up being like huge blocks of that video that I just can't use. So I'm doing a mix of the old style with something new where after I unbox it for the first time so I can get a true first impressions, I do go around and tinker at least a little bit. So I'm not going in completely blind. It looks like YouTube does not like the resolution of this stream, so we may be having issues here. The stream should be an 18:9, so all of you mobile viewers out there, won't have, we'll maybe have like a better time, but YouTube does not like it. It says it's not supported, but we're going to keep going anyway. So anyway, so it's going to be kind of a meld of like the old style. I'm going to tinker around a little bit with the products first, just so I'm not going in completely blind, because what I'm finding is that I'm creating a lot of user mistakes on my own, and then I'm not finding about those mistakes till way later on, and then I'm having to go back and refilm parts of my video, and that ends up leaving or making me make mistakes and releasing those videos with mistakes in the video because I was either rushing or just, it was oversight on my part or something like that. And I just kind of want to prevent and give myself more time to troubleshoot should I have like a self-inflicted error. The best case example of this was actually with the Zima board. This is one of the most recent videos I just released where I was like, oh, this thing doesn't work. And it was all because I didn't checkmark a box for H.265 encoding, even though there was already a box for H.265 and HDR encoding, which they should be the same because 265 is a compression and HDR is a wrapper, right? So I don't know why H.265 and then H.265 HDR would be different. They should be the same. But anyway, that's besides the point. So that was a bad on me. That's not something I caught until thankfully you guys out there caught it for me. And then I had to go back and basically redo huge parts of the video and retest things. So I think my video is going to be a little bit different. And what will that look like? Well, actually, if you watch my previous video about the Tapo P125, you could see a really good example of this kind of new video making that I'm going for. So the unboxing of that was first impressions. What you see is my literally everything that was going on in my mind at that time of filming. And then of course the overhead camera. I do kind of retroly go back and do an overhead view since I don't actually have an overhead camera. So, but anyway, all that's like first impressions. But then the rest of that video is a mix of the first time touching it, mainly with the app, and then also using it. So that way I can tell you guys and kind of shorten the video so they end up not being 20 to 30 minutes long, which is also another concern of mine. Most of my videos only get watched for, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes at best. And when I'm constantly making videos that are 20-ish minutes long or even like 15 plus minutes, most people only stick around for about 2 minutes, which is not good, which I think is starting to affect the channel. Maybe not starting to affect the channel negatively. I think it's always been affecting the channel negatively because I've been making content basically the same way for the last 9 years. And there has been minor improvements here and there with the channel, but mostly a lot of my content goes highly unnoticed, which is fine, but I'm putting in a lot of effort, especially nowadays, to make, I'm going to say, the best content I can. It's not the best content I can because I'm still a little lazy with it. But I'm making better content and putting more time into editing and also capturing things and trying to be more thorough, at least compared to back in the day. And also, while being thorough, condense the entire video to something shorter so that way it's not like a 30-minute long video that's a total deep dive and only getting, you know, an average of 2 minutes viewership for the video, which is not good. So the algorithm's like constantly working against me. Videos aren't getting recommended to my own subscribers, which is something I have been combating a lot, or trying to combat a lot recently. I've been kind of asking people that watch my channel, like whether they be friends or people I have personal contact with, hey, I just released a video. Do you see it on your front page? And for the last 8 videos, that has been no. YouTube has not been ranking my own videos to people who are subscribed to the channel. So that means that the algorithm is thinking that my subscribers are just flat out not interested in the content I make, which is not necessarily a big deal because obviously I can't expect you guys to watch every freaking video I make, especially if you're not interested in Tapo products, for instance. That just doesn't make sense. And that would be crazy to expect you guys to watch every single video, right? Like, I don't know who would do that or why they would do that. So I've got to figure out a way to kind of meet the general populace, but also staying true to my kind of style without getting too crazy with it. One of the problems that I have is I don't want to like do all those stupid faces. I don't want to do all the clickbait and all the cringy stuff. The clickbait titles obviously works extremely well. I've kind of dabbled a little bit with clickbait-ish thumbnails, but they're still mostly true because I may repeat what is in the thumbnail or at least say something that pays homage to the thumbnail and give you guys my true feelings. It's not something as in like, I spent my money on what? And then just totally not mention anything at all about spending my money. And most of the products that I get are free, which I think you guys know. So all this is free. TP-Link sends this to me and they don't pay me any money. They're just like, hey, do you want this? Yes or no? And I say, yeah, I'll make a video about it. And that's the end of it, right? There's no expectations about what I say or anything like that. But anyway, that's kind of aside the point. So I'm trying to be as real as I can with you guys, and I don't want to lie to you, and I don't want to have thumbnails that also misconstrue, because I want you guys to be genuinely interested in whatever I'm making videos about. And if you're not interested in it and you don't watch the content, that's fine. I do the same thing on YouTube all the time. There's a lot of YouTubers who I just don't watch at all because I'm just not interested in the content, and I shouldn't have unfair expectations for any of you guys to do the same for me, right? To watch every single one of my videos. The expectation should be for you to not watch the content you're not interested in. But that's actually a smaller problem. The real problem is the algorithm now not recommending my videos to my own viewers or my own subscribers, which is not good. It's been that way for, like I said, at least the last 8 videos or 9 videos that I checked in with. It could be something that's been going on longer. And I think I've regularly when I release videos, I regularly get about 200 or 300 viewers. So it's not abnormal for me to have less than 1,000 views, but I've also been putting what I think is a lot more effort into my content. So what's up, Jay? Welcome to stream. So I feel like with the extra effort that I'm putting in now, that I kind of want to see a little bit more in viewership. So anyway, that's the point. There's nothing really you guys can do or worry about. That's just things I got to figure out on my own. Is like, how do I get the algorithm to actually recommend my videos, and even covering things that I think are super highly interesting don't just get out there, and which is kind of crazy. So anyway, that's not a problem for you guys. That's just something I want to try and figure out to try and get a little bit more viewership, especially since I've invested in a new camera and I'm trying to improve the channel overall. Even though I'm not trying to grow the channel, I just want to, bring you guys a little bit more interesting content, or have the content that I am producing be seen slightly more. It has nothing to do with trying to make more money or trying to grow the channel necessarily. It's just simply getting a little bit more of the reward for the content that I produce, if that makes any sense. That was a pretty long rant. I have no idea if that made sense. This was totally unprepared. I just sort of just started talking because it was something that's been bothering me the last, I don't know, several weeks. Basically since I came back from the UK, I was like, hey, this video of me going to check out Space Invader 1's studio is going to be really cool. There should be like at least a few thousand people that will watch this because it's interesting. And then I think only like 900 people watched the video, and I was like, great, okay, so sorry, Unraid, you just lost all your money investing into that video. And I was like kind of disappointed, but that happens. It happens a lot. Most of my videos, when I release them, like I said, they get about 300 views, sometimes less, and I'm used to that. I've been doing that for 9 years now, and it's not too big of a deal. But what's up, Bruce? What's up, Tech? Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad that you enjoy the videos. So those are some of the changes you guys can expect. I am changing my style a little bit, but I'm still trying to be as true as possible. That's the whole gist of that entire rant. Moving on from there, I have no idea what else to talk about because I was not prepared for this stream. I just said I was going to do it and force myself to get on camera in front of you guys so we can have a conversation about whatever may pop up. And also, as soon as the stream is over, I'm going to run off and go play Tarkov, and I'm not going to live stream it. Unfortunately, I know that some of you want to hang out and, I can play games, we can chat about whatever it may be. But I'm just not interested. So Jay says, YouTube numbers are all over. They are tweaking their algo. They're always tweaking their algorithm. And I don't know. If the algorithm isn't ranking my own videos to my own subscribers, I honestly, I think it means it's a me problem. I think it's a problem with the style of the videos, the content. It's probably a real issue of presentation of the content, not being interesting enough, taking too long to cover certain things, being too detailed is probably an issue. I think that's been an issue for the channel a long time. I do get people watching some of my older videos like, oh my God, thank you for, talking about this very obscure thing. I very much appreciate that. But that's like 1 or 2 people, and the content yield or the number of viewership is really low, right? So I think just being overly detailed is actually hurting the channel overall, or not the channel, the viewership overall. But I don't know what to do because I don't want to leave out too many important details. So basically nowadays, I'm at the point where I'm only going to show you guys what I think is the most interesting thing and the more important things of a product. So for instance, because we have the cameras in front of me, what's up from Key West reporting in? Hell yeah. I remember your name, FX77. We've talked before on stream, I believe. Did you email me? I feel like you emailed me. Anyway, so to use TP-Link, these cameras as an example, so the most important thing to me, which I think is also most important to the rest of the home labbers, is notifications. Do they work when the internet is down? Obviously, that answer is always going to be no, because this is a smart product. We have a hub sitting here right in front of me, and a lot of companies are like, hey, we have these smart hubs, they do incredible things. And in this case, this hub is actually very useful, and I like having it. But again, notifications aren't going out. So topics like that, things of interest like that, are very important to me. Also, to talk about importance, nobody ever really seems to talk about this, but is power. the power usage of something like this, even though it may be so minuscule, for the people that watch this channel that are in Europe, the power consumption of this device may actually be important. But a lot of common people or non-tech people probably don't give a crap at all about the power consumption of these products. All they want to know is, how's the video quality? Basically all the stuff that you can just Google search and see. And I don't want to be that. I want to try and get a little bit deeper, but also trying to give you guys information that's useful. And a lot of stuff I tell you can already be solved by a simple Google search. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm having a real conflict here. Your videos are helpful. Awesome. Thank you for the kind words. We have talked a bit. FX says, your videos seem very honest. I am trying to be as honest as possible. I don't think I've knowingly lied to anyone. I've made plenty of mistakes on videos where I've unintentionally said the wrong things, or you can kind of misconstrue. One of the differences with my videos, and I've tried very hard not to do this, is actually give my opinion about things unless I'm absolutely in love with it or unless I absolutely hate it. I try to let you guys formulate your own opinions without me influencing them too much. So for instance, if I talk about the power of this and I'm like, oh wow, you know, it only uses 1 watt. Now I'm gonna say that's very impressive because that impresses me. But I'm not gonna say, hey, you should go buy this product because it's low power. You know, I want you guys to formulate those decisions on your own, and I don't want to influence you too much. I'm not an influencer. I don't want to be an influencer. I just want to talk tech with you guys and just look at this as if we're having a conversation. It's very a one-sided conversation, you know? Like, yeah, we could talk about how certain things are cool, but I'm definitely not, my goal is not to try and sell you things. Although a lot recently I've been covering that stuff, but yeah, I don't want to sell you guys anything, or at least, okay, that's not entirely true. I will try and sell you some stuff, like an ASRock motherboard. I love ASRock motherboards, so I'm definitely going to put ASRock motherboards down on you guys because I think they're awesome. But if they're not, I will tell you, and I will definitely talk about the downsides of everything and, you know, help you guys formulate, hey, is this a good product for me to own? Is this good buying decision? You know, things like that. And obviously if something is really awesome and I think that you should have it in your home lab, I will tell you. So it's a really weird game I'm kind of playing, but anyway, Noah says, I search first on YouTube and then Google. There's nothing wrong with searching on YouTube first. The problem that I see a lot is a lot of the questions I see in comments can be solved by Google first. But in watching YouTube, you get the benefit of somebody actually using the product and telling you about their experiences. What I find recently, or a problem recently a lot about review channels, is they don't really use the product. Some of them do use it depending on what you're looking at. But I feel like a lot of review channels are just reading me the spec sheet. And I don't want that. I can look up the spec sheet anytime I want. I want to know what your experience was like. I want to know what it's like to use the camera. What should I expect? What sort of shortcomings came up while you were using the product, if any? Like, I want to know things like that. I don't care necessarily about the specs of it because I can look that up anytime. And I've probably already seen it unless it's a brand new product that hasn't been talked about before. So that's hopefully where the labs portion of SPX Labs comes in, like to be a little bit more technical and actually, that's why we take things apart. Like a lot of review channels don't take things apart, which, you know, there's really no benefit of us taking apart, but we can at least get an idea of how much money companies are investing into their products. Because for instance, you know, when we take apart a TP-Link switch, we took apart this router, green PCB. What does a green PCB mean? It means they just use a generic PCB, which is obviously not a problem. But when we start seeing TP-Link use black PCBs, they're obviously investing a lot more money into that product because black is not free. And, wow, that sounded really, that sounded really wrong. Nobody cut that and used that against me. Anyway, black PCBs are not free to produce. Green PCBs are just a generic color that anyone can get off of a line, right? So when I take these apart and we discover that they're using black PCBs, obviously that means they care a lot more about that product. The same with Apple. Apple always has these really well-designed PCBs. They're very pretty. And when I see something like that, that tells me that some engineer or some designer or somebody cared enough to make a decision about that being that way. And so things like that I think are important. Now, one thing that we're not going to do with this video is actually take this apart like we normally would. I don't really have a good reason why I am not going to do that. We may do that like just a little short just to check it out or something, because I definitely want to take it apart and see what's on the inside. But I don't think that's actually useful for anyone who wants to actually see a video about this camera. Like, taking it apart almost has no real significance. So I kind of left it out on this case. Tech says, gotta pump out that clickbait and get talk. Yeah, I really do need to do that, but I don't. If I do that, I'm just gonna get the wrong kind of people. There's a certain target audience that I'm looking for, who are the home labbers, who are only looking for very specific products that may influence things that they're going to look at buying in the future, and or they're interested in, right? So I don't want everyone. I don't want to target everyone. I want to stay within the home lab community, and basically just hang out with you guys, because if I get too big, it would feel impersonable. I wonder how much traffic the 1 year later videos get once the hype and consumer interest. So that's one thing I actually have thought about doing more often, because I feel like those videos do end up doing okay. At least better than the initial video in some cases. Like, I've done the 6-month video with this backpack that actually performed extremely well, which I didn't expect it to do. And I believe this has more videos than the first backpack video I did, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I definitely want to do follow-up videos, because a lot of times, especially if I use it every day, right? If I buy something and use it, I should follow up on it, because I'm going to obviously experience new problems over the life of the course of a product versus, hey, this is the first time we're looking at it and this is my experience and everything was either good, bad, or somewhere in the middle, right? Anyway, yeah, Noah says, yeah, I want to see them using it and their thoughts. Yeah, I agree. So you like black more than green. Black, every color has its significance depending on how you use it. And so, no, I don't really care for any color over any other color. It just depends on how you use it that makes that color either, present your products better. So white cameras, I don't really care for white. If this was black, I think that'd be really sweet. But I understand why they make them white, because they want to be high visibility and act as a deterrent. If you have a bunch of black cameras around, obviously you're going to have problems with heat, and people won't notice them, so they're not going to be very good deterrents. Cameras are not very great for security, because people could just do this and you'll never see their face, so it's like kind of pointless, right? But I want black cameras. Ubiquiti makes black cameras, and I effing want black cameras around my house, because I think black cameras are cool. Now, if they were green, I would not buy them, because green cameras I think are dumb. They're not dumb. They're probably ugly. It's the wrong kind of green. Green is a really hard color to play with. Maybe if they were gray, I'd also buy into gray. I do want a green camera so I can stick it in my tree, but it doesn't need to be like tree green. It needs to be like kind of like that camo-ish color, and camo is not really the same thing as green. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. There's really no price difference between green, blue, or black. Yeah, not a significant one, but I feel like, someone has to consciously make the decision to use a black PCB or a blue PCB, or somebody's getting paid to make a decision about the product, and there are associated costs, obviously, with the entire process of that. And usually one person can be like, hey, we should use black PCB. Well, somebody else has to sign off on that, right? Like, it's not like one person's being able to just push an entire product line. There's multiple people all conglomerating, conversing, communicating. I don't know. They're all making decisions together about that product. So that has a cost. Now, the actual physical color is obviously extremely cheap, and also the physical PCB is extremely cheap as well. So that's a little bit different, but I'm talking about costs and the aggregate sense. Hikvision makes some really nice black turret cameras. Yeah, but Hikvision's been banned by the United States government because of, I can't remember all that stuff. We've talked about this stuff before previously, but yeah, so I'm just kind of like, I try not to do too much with Hikvision or Daiwa, however you say it. I want to try and use cameras that are like kind of certified by the NDAA. Obviously, TP-Link Tapo is not that, but these are home cameras. Hikvision serves businesses, right? So there are some differences there and exceptions to be made. But I also don't want to go out and buy Hikvision cameras, because as some of you may not know, this channel doesn't make a lot of money. And if I'm spending a lot of money on products, to just make content about it, it's actually going to hurt me in the long run, and that's not the purpose of this channel. The purpose of this channel is not really to make money, but I also am not trying to spend more money than I need to, because then that'll hurt me and my family. So it's like this, it's a very particular game. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to get Hikvision cameras. If they ever want to send me something, I'm all for it. That's a totally different thing. So it's hard when you're a small channel. You know, making decisions like that is a thing. What's up, Nick? I am totally up for questions. Feel free to ask. It can be about anything. Feel free to interrupt at any point. I'm kind of running out of things to say anyway, so this is a perfect time to segue, I guess. Also, I want to talk about more Tapo stuff at some point, or TP-Link as well. Like this stuff, oh man, the camera's all jacked up. Like this stuff, I'm genuinely like highly interested in Tapo stuff because it worked out pretty well. So I wanna get into it some more. Hopefully they'll send me more stuff because I don't really want to buy it. But we'll see. Jay says there are only a few large companies making cams. A lot of it is rebranding, and that is true. 90% of stuff is just rebranded, which the FS camera that I used to have before I gave it away to one of you guys, in my opinion, is a rebranded. I think we ended up finding out it was a Hikvision camera. But you know, that's things we can talk about and explore and stuff, right? So it just kind of depends. All right, well, I'll wait for Nick to come up with this question. Let's at least take a look at Tapo. It is 8:27 p.m. right now. So we've been going 27 minutes already. All right, so after playing around with the cameras, the smart plug, which is unplugged at the moment, I've actually generally kind of been interested in this. And it turns out that they are starting to make smart products that support Matter. Yeah, Matter. So I don't know much about Matter. I know that's like another new standard, of course, because that's what we need is another new standard. But this time, it might be the actual time where everyone is using the same standard, which is great. So I'm really highly interested in this. Now, the only problem is I don't know if anybody makes a smart... Actually, that's a good thing to Google search. What's up, Scub? Nick asks, I have an Apple TV on an SSID that is different SSID than my phone is attached to. Same LAN, but different SSIDs. Any thoughts on why my iPhone remote app can't see the Apple TV? So you have two different SSIDs for the same LAN? Is that what you're telling me? Because if no, then routing issue. If yes, then why do you have two SSIDs for the same LAN? That seems weird. It sounds like to me like it's some sort of like multicast. I don't even actually know what Wi-Fi or what the Apple TV uses to figure all that stuff out. If they use multicast or something. Oh yeah, that makes sense. One is 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I forgot about that being a thing. Why? Yeah, so if that's true, then... Good point, Noah. I'm glad you brought that up. Why would they not be able to work? They are on the same LAN, but different SSIDs. That doesn't really make sense. I don't know. Yeah, they would be irrelevant. I agree. I don't know. I don't really want my family to be too involved with the channel. And my kid's really young, and I don't want him to like have his face, and I don't want to exploit him at all. So I don't know. Maybe if I build him a computer, I'll exploit him a little bit. I don't know. That sounds like a Apple kind of thing. I don't know because So for my home network, I have all of that stuff essentially on the same SSID, so it just works. But my Apple TV is actually plugged in via Ethernet, and then my phones are obviously on Wi-Fi, and then the remote controller, I think it uses like Bluetooth, and then the Apple TV controls like TVs through the ARC port. So sending signals through ARC to like tell the TV to turn on and off, and then other devices to turn on and off, right? But controlling the Apple TV through the phone goes through the Wi-Fi, or would go through Wi-Fi. So that would, and it's on a different SSID. I don't know why that doesn't work. I can't think of any good reasons. Looks like chat's got some pretty good ideas on how to help you out with that one. I'm not a networking expert, so I couldn't say. Jason's probably the best person to talk to about this. Yeah, there you go. Client isolation. That seems like the go-to. Actually, speaking of TP-Link Omada products, TP-Link Omada. I was recently told that the ER8411 may not actually be performing correctly for some people. So this is not something I tested, but apparently these SFP Plus ports here, you may not be able to get the full throughput of these ports, which is kind of sus. So allegedly, if you use a TP-Link 10 gigabit to Ethernet adapter in these SFP Plus ports, you will not be able to get 1 gigabyte per second during transfers between the router and system. And even more so, if you have 1 gigabit, 2 gigabit, or 5 gigabit internet, you'll only get around 300 megabits per second while using the TP-Link SFP Plus module. So I want to try to explore this. I'm going to get my FS modules and my TP-Link SFP Plus modules, stick them in here, do some bandwidth tests, and see what kind of speeds we can expect or what I'm getting from that. So that's going to be an exploration video that's going to be totally different than anything else I've done. We're going to just kind of like make it. I'm just going to grab the camera and be like, hey, look, I'm doing this thing. Huh, that's interesting. And then, waste a lot of time. We're probably going to film a lot of stuff. Yes, there is a particular reason why this stream is at this time. It's because my kid, goes to bed at 8 o'clock, and my wife and I have agreed that she will hold down the fort for me. So he goes to bed at 8 o'clock, and she'll kind of keep him on lockdown and take care of any of the needs that may arise. I used to stream around 7 p.m., but as he's getting older, he's become more resistant to going to bed. And so for him, going to bed at 7 is it's a lot more difficult than it is 8 o'clock. So usually if you put him down at 8, he goes right to sleep, versus at 7 where it's this huge screaming match. I'm trying to stream and like he's screaming, the wife is yelling at him, and there's just like this huge problem. And so 8 o'clock seems to be about the right time for me to do this and for her to handle him, because he's pretty much exhausted after having a full day of activities. So that's why the stream's at 8 o'clock now. Now, I have thought about streaming Sunday mornings, but Sunday mornings is a bit chaotic, and there's a lot of unknowns there. Most days, my kid doesn't wake up earlier than 7, and if he does, he usually stays in his room. So as long as I get on the stream by 7 o'clock, I should be good in theory until about 8. I did this one Sunday not too long ago, and it worked out pretty well actually, but my kid was awake the entire time. Thankfully, he just decided to go watch TV, so he didn't come in here and bother me. So that's partly why. Also, I don't want my kid on camera, so that's another reason why I want to do it while he's asleep, and the wife isn't having to have him on lockdown after having him all day long already. So it's just kind of a thing that we negotiate on. You're going to sleep at 2:33 a.m. Damn. I'd really, really, really appreciate you hanging. I know that you're, shoot, where are you? Spain? No. Portugal? No. I can't remember where you are, but I do know that you're obviously not in the United States. So you're definitely staying up late. That would suck. I really appreciate it, though. It makes me feel like nice and warm on the inside. Yeah, so some not having enough. So from my understanding with this particular switch, in the things I've been reading about and people asking me if I'm having the same issue, allegedly they're only using the SFP plus ports and also the WAN port. They are not even using these other 8 gigabit ports. So this should be able to do at least 20 gigabit per second on the backplane. So it should be able to handle 1 gigabyte per second, at least locally, because we can do, we can use these locally or whatever. So anyway, I want to find out. I want to see if we can truly do, near gigabit speeds. Well, we could do gigabit speeds. I want to see if we can do over 1 gigabit per second. I can obviously get 5 gigabit internet where I am. And we're going to test it out. We're going to see if this bad boy will do, up or near 5 gigabit per second on the WAN port. That's the goal, by the way. I don't know if that was very clear from earlier. See you later, Noah. Thank you so much for hanging out, man. I know it's extremely late for you. I do appreciate that very much. Sorry if I'm a little late answering you on Discord. Obviously, I may be asleep or just busy. So, all right. What else is there to talk about? So that's something I want to do. Back to Tapo. So yeah, I want to try and see. This sounds crazy. I don't think they'll go for it. I'm gonna hit. What the hell? Oh, I want to see if TP-Link will send me one of these robots. Specifically this one. I doubt they'll do it, but I want to try it. I've never had a smart cleaning anything because I'm very particular about the way the house gets cleaned, so it's probably not going to be up to my standard anyway. But I want to try it out. I'm very curious. But I don't think TP-Link will send this to me, unfortunately. There was something that just popped into my head. Now I forgot what it was. I think it was about TP-Link or smart stuff. They have smart temperatures and humidity monitors? Holy cow, they have all sorts of things. I need to figure out how to get back on TP-Link's good side so I can do this. You should do the giveaway whenever you're ready. Portugal. I remembered. I kind of remembered. I said Spain. Hey, at least Portugal touches Spain. That's pretty close. Yeah, you should do the giveaway whenever you're ready. All right, I've really got to hit up TP. Oh, I know what it was. Okay. All right. So at the beginning of this video or this live stream, I went on a huge rant talking about my inner demons and woes and how I feel and all that jazz. So I get probably 4 to 5 emails from Amazon sellers all the time asking me if I'd like to review their products every day. And it's becoming extremely annoying. So what I've started to do is I've changed tactics on them. Most of the time I just delete their emails because it's probably a scam anyway. But what I'm starting to do now is being like, hey, for $1,000 plus this thing, I will make a video about it. Or sometimes I'll, like this one thing was like, I think it was like a microphone. I was like, yeah, if you send me $100 plus a microphone, I'll make a video about it. So if any of those sellers actually follow through, I just want to go ahead and warn you guys today that if you're wondering why is he making a video about something that's completely not home lab or home oriented at all, like I guess a microphone's kind of home lab related, but it's more like for streaming or like talking or whatever. But like there might be some edge cases there where I'm just like, check out this wallet. Like, oh, it's, whatever. But in the video, I would totally tell you if they gave me money and also that, whatever. I'll definitely let you know the truth behind everything. I'm not going to like influence or try to get you guys to buy it unless it is actually cool. But anyway, so if I start making extremely weird content here in the future, it's because I'm putting my foot down. Brands have to start paying me to make content about their crappy stuff on Amazon, which I've only done a handful, which I only did one Amazon seller, and that was the microscope, which ended up actually being pretty cool, and I haven't used yet. I put it back in its box, and it's sitting on the shelf of stuff. I have no idea when I'm going to touch that again. Anyway, so TP-Link, oh wait, I gotta change screens. So TP-Link is rolling out all these sensors and things. They're way ahead of Ubiquiti. Ubiquiti doesn't, like, they hide their sensors. They have this like new integration page. No sensors here. We've kind of talked about this before. Like, where do you find their sensors? They have a smart power plug. Okay, cool. So maybe it should be on a smart devices page, but it's not. So anyway, Ubiquiti's kind of taking a long time to enter into their like smart stuff. They do have some smart products, but they're honestly just not useful. Like, at least not currently. Their sensor is probably the most useful thing because it does like temperature, humidity, motion, if something's open or closed or whatnot. But I want more. I want more options. Like, I want all of these. I mean, they have one product that does all this, but damn it, I want all of this. I don't know. I just want a little bit of everything. And other smart products like switches. Why don't we have, smart bulbs or smart switches? Like, why doesn't Ubiquiti make this stuff yet? It can't be that hard. They're taking too long. And now that I'm so happy with Tapo, I might just be switching over to Tapo, and I really don't want to because it's not like integrated into the same environment. And oh, Jason probably loves this. You're probably over there rolling right now, Jason. Oh, he's finally leaving Ubiquiti, yes. I don't know why I just gave you that voice when you're Canadian, but whatever. If I could make my mouth go like this, wow, he's switching from Ubiquiti. I can't do it. Yeah, TP-Link does. They're really growing on me a lot. The more and more I start using their products and making videos about their stuff, the more and more I look at Ubiquiti and be like, wow, you're overpriced and you're kind of slowing down on the products. Like, I feel like every year that goes by, their stuff gets more expensive. And oh man, I don't want to. No, I'm not gonna spoil it. I was gonna spoil it, but after using this hub, I will say I'm looking at Ubiquiti a lot different. And this has an SD card, mind you. Okay, I'm looking at Ubiquiti Protect cameras a lot differently than I used to. You could probably take that information and figure out what I might be going at here, but yeah. Oh, here's the sensor. Freaking finally, it's in Protect. Yeah, so this thing's awesome. I want this, but it's like $60. Oh, and I think this one connects to Unify. Oh, yeah. So I think this one only does Bluetooth, though. Whereas TP-Link does Wi-Fi. You set it up with Bluetooth, but then it transitions to Wi-Fi. And then Ubiquiti does the opposite, where you have to have Bluetooth. So your access point has to be near enough to your smart thing, to your sensor for it to work. I think that's my understanding. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's how it works, which doesn't make sense because Bluetooth doesn't have the same range as Wi-Fi does. And it's like, you're a Wi-Fi company. Just make this a Wi-Fi device. Don't make it Bluetooth. It's just weird. Wow, I went 44 minutes. I didn't even realize it. I said this was going to be a short stream, and we almost made it a full hour. Hey, look, buy this $1,200 Switch, but you only get 1 year warranty. Hey, I don't care about warranty. No, I'm kidding. Trust me, bro. I love warranties. Bluetooth does use less power, but when you see this that has both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, I think you might be surprised just how power efficient this is. And that's why I'm talking about power. For people like you, Jay, who bring it up. That's why this kilowatt exists, and that's why it's important. Because I want to know how much power these things use. We saw how much power this thing used, which is about 1 watt, right? This has Bluetooth and has Wi-Fi and uses about 1 watt of power, which is like, what, $1 a year if you're paying what I pay for electricity? Nobody talks about this stuff. That's why it's See? I get you, Jay. I get you. All right. I am going to end the stream here 15 minutes early because I want to go play Tarkov so bad. They just wiped the servers, and I want to go get killed by some cheaters. And also, I don't know, have a bad time and de-stress by stressing myself out. I don't know. It's weird. Tarkov's weird. It's a love-hate thing. So, hey, I appreciate all 7 of you for watching this stream and hanging out. Does this stream look like it's 18 by or 21 by 9, 18 by 9, same thing? Like, I think if you're watching on desktop or a television, it should be cropped, so there'll be black bars at the top. Can anyone confirm that for me real quick? I do run a Nuka-Cola power. I got a Nuka-Cola over there, another one over there. These things are so cheap and crappy. I hate them so much. These geniuses were like, okay, we're going to make it a lamp that you can turn on, right? You're like, yeah, a lamp I can turn on. But wait, it turns itself off after 5 minutes. You're like, okay, yeah, it runs on a battery. I understand that. But what if I plug it in? Then I don't need to worry about turning off after 5 minutes, right? Right? Wrong. They still made it turn off in 5 minutes, even if it's plugged into the damn wall. So it's like, what are you doing? Oh, it makes me so mad. Good night, FX. Thanks for hanging out, man. He took his meds today. I actually have been off my medication for a long time because there's an Adderall shortage. I can't even get an appointment with my effing doctor. They keep canceling on me and rescheduling. So I guess this is me more naturally and not on medications. I'm waiting for you guys to answer my effing question about the black bars or not. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm kind of like, we're talking about things, waiting for you to be like, hey, I'm on desktop. Yes, there are black bars. I'm on mobile. There are no black bars. That's what I'm waiting for. And now there's even more of you here than before. All right, I can't wait anymore. I'll just have to review the stream on my own later after this is over. Pix looks fine. No black bars. Are you watching on mobile? Clear as hell picture. I know the picture's good. All right, I'm out. How do I stop this mofo? Peace!